Good morning, guys, and welcome to the podcast. I'm really delighted about today's guest, Corey Jacobson, and he is with the Wealth Juice Investor Network. It's a real estate investing network. We'll talk about what he does, how to stop building alone, start connecting with people, and we'll talk about real estate insights. And really happy to have him on. Corey, welcome.
Hey, Chris, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, and briefly introduce yourself and we'll dive into the questions.
Love it. Again, appreciate your time. My name's Corey. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My partner, Ryan, and I have been investing in real estate for about 7 years. We have our social media and our podcast and our real estate investment company. But just to give you like a little bit of a background, I started investing in real estate in 2018, and I did something very simple that I think anyone can do, especially if you're in your 20s. I bought a 3-bed, 2-bath. I lived in one of the bedrooms and rented out the other 2 bedrooms. I was always into this financial independence like movement because I was working this 9-to-5 job, again, 26 years old, thinking, man, there's got to be a little bit more to life than this. Is this like what I went to school and graduated for? And I'm just like going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. And it was like Groundhog's Day. And I was thinking, man, is there a way for me to get ahead? That was the idea, get ahead. I bought a 3-bed, 2-bath for $250,000, lived in one of the bedrooms, rented out the other 2 bedrooms. And I was able to offset my mortgage and completely live for free. So I was paying $1,000 a month in rent, not really able to save much. Now I'm living for free. I'm finally able to save up some more cash. Ryan and I had been friends forever. We started investing in real estate together. I bought a duplex. I can talk about all the stories and how that went. We scaled up to about 8 units between the two of us. But once we started our social media and our podcast and sharing our journey organically and being able to network with people like yourself, that's when things started to pick up and we got to just over 80 units. We do not own all of those, just the two of us. We're in general partnerships. Well, we raise capital, we work with operators, just a couple of them. And it's been a really fun journey and the wealth juice has grown from there. But that's my story. Real estate changed my life. So now I share it with other people.
Yeah. And yeah, it's an amazing story. And I know, and I love these stories where you build your financial freedom from the ground up. And what clients that come to you, obviously social media is a big part of it. And who comes to you to work with you? What are their needs, wants, desires? What are they sick and tired of? Pain points, frustrations? What do they want to get out of working with you?
Yeah, so this is a good question. So originally we started our podcast and our social media platform as a way to just share our journey and put our message into the universe because no one knew that we were investing in real estate. And I would talk to some friends and family and some of them would get it and some of them wouldn't. But I knew I was listening to shows like Bigger Pockets and I was saying, it's hard for me to relate to somebody who has 1,000 units who started in 1992. Like I just couldn't, I was like, it's just so far out of the realm of what I thought I could do. So I thought maybe people would like to follow along in the journey and figure out about house hack number 1 and duplex number 2 and triplex number 3. And it turns out that they did because I was just able, me and Rye, just organically sharing our story and saying, hey, this is where we're at. Hopefully you like to listen and join along. Before you know it, a couple like a quote unquote higher profile guests decided that we reached out and they would come on the show. I remember like David Green came on our show and eventually Brandon Turner, but Chad Carson was a small but mighty real estate investor and he's in South Carolina. He came on our show and he said, hey, you guys are pretty good at this. And I was like, wow, that's all I needed to like keep this thing going. So as we started to grow our portfolio, I'm going to get to answer your question here. People were asking us, hey, can I buy you coffee? Can I grab lunch with you? Like all these things. And I want to give it all away for free. That's what we do. And it got to a certain point where I was thinking, I think there's a way to synthesize this information. We were able to grow to that 80 unit mark over the past 7 years. And we did it based on the people that were a couple steps ahead of us that showed us the way. Finding somebody who's doing what you want to do and saying, can I latch on to you? Can you teach me the ways as opposed to trying to figure it all out on your own? And this world and business is all about relationships. The people that come to us are really trying to get started. They're trying to get their first deal, maybe their second deal, but are stuck in analysis paralysis. They've been researching real estate. They maybe have some cash on the sidelines or maybe some stocks or a 401k, but they want that next layer, that next push. And Ryan and I help people buy their first or next rental property in the next 3 to 6 months based on a formula that we put together and just sharing our network of people that have helped us grow. So most of those people are they get it. They're smart with their money, but they want the next layer of, I really want to become a real estate investor. I want to pour gasoline on the fire. And for us, we had the stocks and the brokerage, and the next logical step for us was real estate. So we teach people how to get involved and how to do it without, you don't have to be a millionaire to invest in real estate. You can just start out with an owner occupied duplex live in one unit, rent out the others. And then, or if you want to invest long distance too, there's ways that you can manage it on your own or hire a property manager. I just think real estate's not for the already wealthy. That's what we like to talk about.
Interesting. And so we'll talk about, just sounds like there's two aspects. One is growing your portfolio, and then the second is the marketing and sharing it. And you've got a network and education and content. For a lot of Gen Z and millennials, they're looking at real estate and they're like, I could talk to some of my millennial Gen Z friends, and they're like, they view real estate as like mutual funds. They're very expensive, bulky, burdensome. It's easier you could stocks or equities or start your own business. So why should people still be looking at real estate?
That's interesting. I haven't talked to a lot. I guess Gen Z was what, 26? How old, what's the oldest Gen Z? Is that like 26, 27 ish, or is that millennial?
I think that's in their 20s.
In their 20s. Okay. So my brother's Gen Z. Yeah, he's 23. The thing that sparked us about real estate is the tangibility of the asset control. So I knew that, hey, if I fix up this bathroom, or if I fix up this kitchen, or if I took an old property and made it look new, that I had the control of the asset and I could use leverage to try to go buy more real estate and grow without having to invest into something like a stock, which, by the way, we still do. But you have no control over the stock. You're trusting the CEO to run the company, and hopefully they do a good job. And there are some companies that they're way smarter than you, and you should invest in stocks. But if you want to take more control back, and the biggest thing for me was looking at a property, let's say a property of $300,000. If you were to put $300,000 into the stock market, you, at moment number one, you control $300,000 of that stock. And that's great. And in 10 years, it's probably going to be worth $450,000. However, you can control an asset of $300,000 by putting $28,000 or $52,000 into that asset, and then you control the appreciation. You can't fully control the appreciation, but you control the forced appreciation on an asset that you don't have to put all the dollars and cents into. So is real estate a get rich quick scheme? No, it isn't. And if you're looking to get rich overnight and you think you have the next meme coin, then by all means, go ahead and do it. But I can tell you, if you buy one, our goal was one property a year for 10 years, Chris. And we were able to go a little bit faster than that. But the point is that if you commit to something for that 3 to 5 year time frame, I haven't found anything other than real estate that's allowed me to have time freedom, have more dollars in my bank account than I thought possible, and then allow myself to just do what I want when I want. And the moment it sparked it for me was when I bought a $125,000 duplex in 2020, and it cash flowed $300 a month. And the Gen Z and some of the millennials will say to you, that's nothing. And it is, and it's not changing my life. That $300 a month is not changing my life. It didn't change my life. But after 3 years, I sold the property for $100,000 profit. Now, for me to save up $100,000 over 3 years, $33,000 a year at my job, I wasn't able to do that. And I don't think a lot of people are able to do that. So the balance between, hey, we use cash flow to play defense, to hold on to properties as long as we possibly can. And the principal pay down and the appreciation allows it to grow. And then you can trade up and play real life Monopoly. So no, you're not going to get rich in 6 months through real estate, but over a 5 to 10 year time frame, you can make yourself extremely wealthy and look back and you're going to thank your previous self that you did. So that's how I look at real estate.
Interesting. So talk about some things like the downfalls, because what you mentioned, the cash flow, the 300 per month, and let's say all of a sudden you have a tornado or a fire or just like the AC or just some mass or just a squatter. How do you address those? A lot of landlords, they complain it's tenants, toilets, and trash. So what do you do about those risks?
Yeah, I think this is an important topic to talk on. I think if you treat your rental property portfolio as a hobby and you allow the tenants to dictate what times you're showing up and the tenants to dictate what times you're answering calls, then you will be fixing toilets at 2 a.m. And I think that's what people do not want to get into real estate for. And there's a reason that a lot of people don't invest in real estate. But the way that we've looked at it is, hey, if you can build a process and you can build a system around your real estate. For example, when we first got started, we self-manage up to 6 to 8 units. Now we would have a Google Voice or a company called Open Phone. It's $8 a month, and you have a separate number. And we have office hours for our tenants between 8 and 5. I will answer you if it's after that, unless it's an emergency. You're going to hear from me the next business day. We use property management softwares like something like Rent Ready, where you could collect rent through an app. They can submit maintenance requests through an app. Everything can be done, marketing the property all through an app, and you don't even have to have direct conversations with the tenants on a day-to-day basis. So the systematizing and the managing of your business has to be like, hey, I'm doing this not to create another job for myself, because most people that get into real estate have a job. I had a job for 7 years until I was able to leave. And I would recommend keeping your job. That's what we teach, is invest in real estate while keeping your job, while maintaining a full-time job. You can do both, but you have to put a system in place. Now, as far as hurricanes and fires, I can tell you stories for days. I have property in Tampa, Florida. This past October was horrible. Like I was holding my breath. However, I have great insurance. You back yourself up. And Ryan and I we even had a fire in our property. It ended up working out just okay for us because we had the proper insurance and we had the proper people to go to when these problems arise. So I will say this: if you're looking for something that's 100% passive, you shouldn't be investing in real estate. But if you're looking to have control and you're looking for, hey, I can fix up a property, I can make it worth significantly more, I can trade up, I can play real life Monopoly. And Ryan and I were able to turn a $25,000 net worth into $1 million net worth each in 6 to 7 years. And for me, now it gets easier. And the first 100,000 was the hardest, but now it gets easier because I've established myself and I can sell off properties if I need to, or I can 1031 exchange them into larger assets, or I can refinance. And I just think that the tenants and the toilets and all the big problems that could happen, a stock can drop in half if there's a recession anyway. So I think that it's all about perspective in the way you look at it. So hopefully that answered your question, but it depends on your outlook on your investing. And I think people should do both, because I invest in the stock market as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the best advice is asset allocation. Don't put all your eggs in the one basket. So moving on, is we have around 8 minutes remaining. You started a investor network and you went to social media. Talk about this idea, because a lot of people, they're successful investors, and that's why go towards education, whereas you could continue to build your real estate portfolio. Is there scalability, or is it just we enjoy creating content for people that want to become social media influencers?
This is a great question, because I think the internet is filled with people today that are not really genuine, and they're maybe portraying a life or something that they don't actually live. And that's hard to sift through. Like, I'm the first one to admit that. When somebody referred to me as an influencer, I thought twice. I'm like, I don't know if that's exactly like who I want to be. However, I do love creating content. I love teaching people. I'm a coach at heart. Like, I coach basketball. I've coached my whole life. So I really like watching and molding somebody, or having somebody figure something out that they didn't know before that changes their life. Basically, what we did was we were having the amount of people that were reaching out to us about trying to get in the real estate investing game and trying to figure this out on their own. We figured, hey, if we can synthesize this information and give people a blueprint, the blueprint that worked for us, how do we give that out to people? And we were already doing a podcast every single week. So we ramped that up to 2 a week. We post on social media every day, just free value about how you can do all of this on your own. But if you're looking for the next level, for the hand-holding, for somebody that's been there, done that can give you the keys, that's why we started the education. So we're doing both. We're growing our real estate portfolio. We just closed on a 10 unit in March of this year. So we buy a couple 10 to 50 units a year at this point. And we're growing our education business because there are people in our backyard, in our network, who want the right lender. They want the right agent. They want the blueprint. They want to learn how to build a team. They want to learn how to underwrite deals the right way. And I found that there's scalability in that, but also I know how important a mentor or somebody was for me in the beginning stages, because I bought a property. I had no clue what to do. I didn't even know you had to fix it up. And I made some mistakes that if I had somebody there in my Rolodex, if you will, my phone to call, things would have gotten a lot easier. And this game can be, entrepreneurship and building a business can be lonely. So having people at your disposal that can help you, to me, that was the biggest cheat code of all. So we do both. We build our real estate portfolio. We teach people how to do it. If you came to me and you said, hey, Corey, I have 12 units, I'd love to go to 50, I'd tell you, there's probably somebody better out there that can teach you that game. But if you want to go from 0 to 1 or 0 to 3 or 1 to 2, getting started and putting something that is repeatable, a process in place that you can do it over and over again, that's how Ryan and I feel like we can help the most. And that's why we put it together.
Interesting. A follow-up question is what people that are, because you've got a Wealth Juice inner circle, and talk about just some case studies, just people joining this. What value does it have? What perks does it have? And talk about just the success stories that you've had.
Yeah, we've had a number of people that have been following along on our journey. Maybe they've been listening to the podcast, they've been following us on social, and they've been like just stuck in this analysis paralysis mode, sitting on the sidelines. And if you're 25 to 40 years old and you have some cash set aside and you want to really build wealth and you want to accelerate this, and maybe you're thinking, I'm going to my job, is this the forever thing? What we've done with a number of people, like for example, a good friend of ours now, his name is Jake. He's a police officer, and he came to us and he said, guys, I've been thinking about real estate for 2 years. Like I really want to get involved. And what we did is we went through the 8-pillar system of mindset, the strategy, deal analysis, building your team, acquisition, property and tenant management, and business structure and organization, and then turn it into social if you want to talk about it on social media. Like those 8 pillars we teach, plugged him in with the right agent, taught him how to analyze deals. And within 8 weeks, he had his first house hack under contract. And now about 3 months later, he's looking at his second deal. So people come to us with this stopgap of, I'm either stuck in analysis paralysis or I want to get involved, but I just don't know what moves to make. What market should I invest in? Because Ryan and I started in Philadelphia and New Jersey, and now we invest in Vermont and New Hampshire, and I have property in Florida. So we found the right markets, we found the right teams, and now we don't really manage any of our properties. So another example of somebody who came to us, somebody in New Jersey, him and his wife just got married. They're making great living. They're traveling physical therapists. They wanted to get in the real estate investing game. We helped them find the right market, find the right deal, find the right agent, find the right lending for this particular stage in their journey. And within 2 months, they had a property under contract, and now it's cash flowing for them. We help people fill the gap in the knowledge, but also the confidence, because most people just lack the confidence to go do the deal. And if you talk to somebody who's done it before, that was the thing that helped me the most. So that's probably some case studies and some examples of people that we've helped.
Yeah. If you were looking back on yourself 2017, 2018, and obviously no process is mistake free, what things did you wish you had known or somebody had taught you that you can pass forward to people listening today?
That's a good question. Kind of what would I tell my younger self in a way?
Yeah.
I would say that there is nothing linear about building a business or buying real estate. And I think that people get in their heads, and I've got this in my head, that I'm going to buy one property and then I'm going to stack up to this point. I'm going to be comfortable, and then I'm going to buy the next one, and then I'm going to buy the next one. And it's going to be this very like A to Z linear, like just bouncing along, and you get better every day. And I have taken so many hits. I have taken so many road bumps that have knocked me down. I've taken positions where I was in sales, I was working a sales position, and then I went full-time into my business, and my salary or my income dropped in half. And I made that choice that I wanted to go do this because I wanted to pursue something that I really enjoyed to do. And I think that I would tell myself that although this isn't going to be linear, it may not get easier, but you get better. And that's the biggest thing that I've taught myself. And the people that I can call in my phone, like, have been unbelievable to me. And hey, Corey, I know this seems like a big problem right now for you, but I've dealt with this every single day for the past 2 years. And it's not a big problem because I'm a couple steps ahead of you. So telling myself that there's people that are dealing with the same problems that you are, you just need to go find them, or the people that have dealt with the problems already in the past and they're not dealing with them anymore, or you think they're problems, but they're not problems. So I would say a combination of your path isn't linear, and that there are people that are dealing with exactly what you're dealing with right now. You just need to locate them and associate yourself with them in some way, whether that's giving away value for free, or maybe paying for mentorship, or paying to be in the rooms with these people. And obviously you have to vet and know and trust these people, but there are people out there that are looking to do, or that have already done what you're looking to do. So
yeah, I really love that. And for a lot of busy professionals, executives, especially doctors, it's like this stepwise. It's like it's failure is looked down upon. And so it's really good that they can hear this from entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is not easy. If people wanted to connect with you and reach out to you, how would they do that?
Yeah, Chris, the best way to get in touch with us is on Instagram. You can follow us at Wealth Juice Official. That's Ryan and I. We have a shared account there, Wealth Juice Official. We answer all of our DMs. So reach out to us if you're looking to get started in the real estate investing journey. If you want to listen to our podcast, the Wealth Juice Podcast, we're going on 6 years. We've interviewed amazing guests, and we talk about sharing our story and our journey as well, and just amplifying voices. I feel like that's what we do really well. So the best place is Instagram at Wealth Juice Official, and then YouTube as well. But our podcast, wherever you would listen to podcasts, Apple or Spotify, the Wealth Juice Podcast. And yeah, tune in. We'd happy to have more listeners and just interact with people that are tuning in.
Excellent. I really enjoyed this conversation, and keep up the great work.
Thank you for having me, Chris. I really appreciate it.